Hello, welcome back to another YouTube video on obviously my channel. I don't know why I said every time like you'd be seeing this elsewhere. You might be actually, but it would be fraud. Please don't steal my videos. Thought I'd do something a bit different in this video. Rather than talking about books exclusively, I thought I'd talk about myself a little bit. Who doesn't love talking about themselves? I've gone online, I've had a look at some questions that I can answer for you to basically get to know me a bit better, if you give a rat's ass or not. That's a very American phrase. I don't know why I use that one, because I try not to swear too much, but sometimes I do. But anyway, I've got my iPad here and I'm going to answer some quick questions about myself so you can get to know me a bit better. Get to know who this weird guy is that you keep buying books because he says go out and buy this book. That's me. These are my questions. Let's get into this video. Okay, so the first question is, why did you start this channel? Now that's quite an interesting question. It's a great start, so that's a good start. Basically, I started this channel because I wanted to try and make myself as approachable as possible when it came to my blog. I started my blog about 3 years ago, just over 3 years ago. I've recently changed how I'm going to be doing my blog. I'm not going to be putting up every book review, for example. But what I wanted to then do is obviously you have to build social media around a blog to get it any sort of promotion. About, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago now, I started taking YouTube a lot more seriously. And by that, I've been posting as regularly as I can, posting shorts to YouTube as well to try and get some following there as well. And the idea is just basically a bit of self-promotion around everything I do. My option to talk and ability to talk about books is something that I enjoy doing, or not my ability to talk about books, but I enjoy talking about books, so I thought, why not talk about it on YouTube? I see some videos of people doing some things on YouTube that's really exciting, and they talk about books, and I think, yeah, I want to talk about that book. Or I don't know, they did a list of books and they think they were fantastic, but I'm like, oh, but you missed this, you missed that. So then I was like, I want to do my own. So that's basically why I decided to start my YouTube channel. It's not the be all and end all of everything I do online. I'm also on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Threads, pretty much everywhere that you can think of. And as I said, my blog. But I just wanted to do slightly long form videos. I did also have a few requests. So I've been doing TikTok for a bit longer, but I did also have a few requests just to do some slightly longer form content. And also the answer, not so secretly, is essentially it would be great to be able to monetize this kind of output, to have a second income, to have a second stream, to have something that I really enjoy doing, which is talking about books and kind of media and writing and things like this, and interacting with people that are similar into my kind of hobbies as well. And at the same time, getting paid to do that would be absolutely fantastic. So the idea that I could go on YouTube, and anybody can do it. You might be watching this in 10 years time and I might be the most successful booktuber of all time. But at the moment, it's me building up a platform, building up some places where I could make this hobby of mine something that could make an income, because essentially that's everybody's dream, isn't it? To really, really enjoy what you work to do, and the way you earn money is something you enjoy doing. That was awfully worded, but I think you get the idea. Anyway, let's move on to the second question. What are some fun and unique things you can bring to YouTube? That's a really odd question for me to answer. I don't know what's fun and unique. I don't think I'm going to be that unique. I don't have a USP. My USP is essentially I love reading. That's not unique. I am more than not, I'm very, very chilled. I'm not going to be sitting here talking about serious dark matters all the time. It's literally going to be like, I love books, you obviously love books because you're reading this, let's talk about books. And that's all that's ever going to be. I have a little bit of personality. Some people sometimes can be a little bit more kind of formal with things. I'm never going to be formal. I'm always going to be quite chilled and relaxed about things. That's pretty much all I can bring. There's nothing that unique that I can bring outside of those things to Booktube, unfortunately, which is fair enough. It's something that I'm never going to tell anybody here, or if you come to my channel, you're going to get this unique thing. In 6 months, in a year, I might think of something. I don't think anyone's done that before. But right now, there's nothing overtly unique about my content, other than the fact I think being a male makes it a little bit more niche, and I think maybe not being American makes it more niche. So there we go, there's a few things that maybe make it a little bit more unique. What I'm most excited for about this channel, that's a really interesting one. I don't know what I'm most excited about. I love the interaction on social media. That's my absolute favorite thing in the whole world. The thing that I love about interaction is I don't know, in my circles, for example, yes, I know people that read, yes, I can have some conversations about it, but I can't kind of pose out, I don't know, a question or a topic or have a discussion about something, and then loads of people come back with loads of responses, because that's just not normal life. I'm not going to mass forums. Whereas I can post something on YouTube. I can post my favorite books of all time. I can post a video about a review of a book, and then loads of people can come back and go, yeah, love that, brilliant, I agree, don't agree, discuss, what about this, have you suggested that, have you thought of reading this, all of those different recommendations. And that's one of the best things about social media in general, is that interaction, but also I think Booktube allows me to do it in a longer form. Also, I'm a massive fan of YouTube in general anyway. I've obviously been watching YouTube for years. I'm a big gamer, so I love watching gaming stuff on YouTube. And I've recently started trying to pick up some people's Booktubes as well and watch some of those, get some tips, that sort of thing as well. Generally, I get most of my book recommendations from like Instagram and TikTok and things, just because it's a little bit more, it's a little quicker. But I do understand a lot of people really enjoy getting their content from Booktube, so that's where I'm doing this. The most exciting thing is, as I said, at some point I'd absolutely love to be able to make a bit of money from this. I'd love to make it one of those things where I'm enjoying doing this. I get to read books, talk about books, and then YouTube pay me to do that. That's the dream. So that's the thing I probably am most excited about doing this. But as I said, the other thing is just being able to like converse with people in the comments. And generally Booktube seems to be really nice. Nobody's really got that heated yet. There was one comment which was mildly heated, but I think it's gone now. Other than that, it's all really just been positive. People being like, love your videos, love that you like books, I agree with your books, I agree there. It's fantastic. It's really a positive place. So the next question is, what do you love reading? So that's a great question. I love reading books. Sorry, might cut that out. I love reading a range of different books. I think it's probably easier to say what I don't enjoy. So I don't enjoy romance, love fantasy, don't enjoy romance. And the reason I'm not a massive fan of romance is I think it's being done in a really poor way at the moment. There's not a focus on the actual romantic side of things, on the journey, on the lives of these people. It's all about, I think, well, it's not all about, but there's a lot of kind of smut going around at the moment, and there's a lot of kind of weak romance where it's just thrown in on top of other genres. I personally don't have a problem with people enjoying that. I don't have a problem with that. We're talking about my opinions and what do I love reading, and I don't enjoy those things. I do enjoy the likes of One Day by David Nicholls, and a lot of David Nicholls' work. His other book, Us, I just saw it on my bottom shelf. Enjoyed that. That's just about a husband who's one day, his wife tells him that she doesn't think she wants to be with him anymore, and therefore they go on a holiday and he tries to get her back. And that to me is romance. Going to an ice rink or something and seeing a cute boy and seeing a cute girl, and that's just not, I don't know, this is something you've really got to have more depth than that with me when it comes to romantic books, unfortunately. So for romance, probably the genre I don't enjoy most, but I really do love fantasy, I love thrillers, I love historical fiction. They're my probably three main genres that I would say to everybody, yeah, absolutely love that sort of thing. Other than that, I would say I could probably read pretty much anything else. A lot of things I pick up and I think, yeah, that's fantastic. I don't read a lot of non-fiction because I don't know where to start. I feel like with fiction, I love it because it's fantastical. It can be really cool. There's that feeling of a journey. There's that cool feeling you get sometimes from reading something fictional and something so outside of this world. Now, I'd love to read non-fiction around books that are things that I would never be able to understand, like cults and living in different countries and living in different environments and experiencing things that are so vastly different from my own life. There's somebody outside right now that's dancing outside. If you keep seeing me look to the left, that's why they're distracting me. They're out dancing with somebody on the patio. Anyway, if you've got any non-fiction recommendations, 100% recommend them to me. I'm reading something about your gut health at the moment because a colleague recommended it. I have read Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I also did read a book about dinosaurs not that long ago, which is really good as well. I'll pop that up here when I can remember what that one is. But yeah, really, that's my kind of genre and the things I do enjoy reading. What book or series got you into reading? So the book or series that got me into reading, there's two really that I always think about, and it's Harry Potter and it's the Alex Rider series. So Harry Potter, I think, got a lot of people into reading. I think it's one of those series where the books start off really easy and get darker and more mature as you read through them, which makes it feel like you're going on a journey with the characters, but also at the time when people were reading that were of my age, where you were growing up with the characters, and as you grew up and got older, the book started to grew up and got older and mature, if that makes sense. So that's one book that was really got me into reading, the book series. The other one is Alex Rider. So the Alex Rider series, the reason that got me into reading is because it was the first time where I felt like I was one of the boys. Like, in terms of my male friends were also reading Alex Rider, and it's about a boy who's a spy in school. I mean, what was cooler than that? And so that was a book that really got me into reading. Loved that whole series. I think I got quite far, because I think I went to go reread them a few years ago. It's kind of like those filler books where I was like, I want to be reading, but sometimes I just want to read something I already know. So I picked up Alex Rider and got like 2 or 3 into them. And then I was like, I think I got further than this when I was younger. I don't know, but it's one of those books you read so long ago. And I think some are still coming out. I don't know. There was a semi-successful film and a semi-successful TV series, both of which I don't think were brilliant, but I do think the TV series is probably better than the film. But if you're interested in Alex Rider, the TV series might be worth recommendation. I think there's season 2, but it's on some weird channel now. But anyway, Harry Potter and Alex Rider were the 2 book series that got me into reading. What questions would I ask my favourite booktubers? That's a fantastic question. I mean, maybe these ones because they're easy and I've got them on my iPad, so I don't need to think about them too much. I think the other questions would be, what was your success? What was your breakout video? I think those sort of things. I want to be in a place, as I said, where I've got regular kind of followers, regular engagement. The same people come back, new people are always coming back. I've got regular kind of comments on the videos and questions and people wanting my opinions on things. That's something that makes me feel fantastic, is I want to be at a point on this channel where people think I'm going to go ask Luke because Luke has solid recommendations. That's really a goal for me with this channel. One of my things I would ask booktubers is, what's the video that made you successful? What's the video or the video type that people often ask your opinion on as a result of that video, if you know what I mean? So people say, so one of the videos I just did, my previous video, was about how to kind of get into reading or back into reading. And a few people came up with some other follow-up questions, which is absolutely fine. Someone said, if you're not English at all, what would you recommend? Which I think is a difficult one to answer, and I might try and answer them personally rather than doing a whole video on it, because I am English, so I don't know where you'd start if you're not English, because you just got to think of, okay, what's a very, very simple English book to read? So we'll go there. But those sort of recommendations are something that I'm looking forward to, and that's the sort of thing I'd ask another booktuber as well. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So the 2 challenges I think you face when you start anything that requires a bit of your time is the dedication and the creativity to think of new ideas. So being in a bookish YouTube channel, which may end up expanding, I may end up doing other things like life vlogs and TVs and films and video games and stuff like that as I grow and as I expand and as I need to do other content, and other people may ask for my opinions on these other things. But at the moment it's bookish, therefore I've got to always think of a bookish related YouTube video. Therefore my creativity is kind of hampered in terms of what I can talk about, what can I expect. It may be, I may not be into books one week. I know that sounds odd as somebody who loves reading, but I may be reading a book that I'm not that interested in. I may have filmed a book about the best books I've read recently, so I can't think of anything new. I may be running out of inspiration, and that's going to be one of the biggest challenges and the biggest hurdles. In fact, this video is as a result of me being a little bit down on ideas at the moment. Realistically, I'm here doing an easy video where I can just answer questions that other people have posed because I can't think of anything original to do at the moment. Next week or in the next few videos I may have something brand new, but that's going to be the biggest challenge, I think, is just coming up with creative content all the time. The second kind of challenge is always going to be if I'm not having a great month. So I did a video of the best books I've ever read. That's obviously my best video now because that's what everybody wants to watch. But if I do a video and, I don't know, it doesn't get up to 100 views now, or it doesn't get 150 views, or I don't get, I don't know, I got like 10 subscribers in a week or something instead of the 100 or whatever I got from that video, I'm always then going to have a bar now where I think, oh, is things dying out? And what if I go like a month where I barely get any subscribers, or I barely get any views on my videos, or I really run out of ideas for videos? What's going to happen at that point? I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for this channel. When did I start reading? So these are in absolutely no organization whatsoever, but question 8 is, when did you start reading? So I started reading, I don't know the exact age, but relatively young. So I've moved counties in England. So I used to live in London, which is not the county, but I don't know what the county of London is. I don't know. Anyway, so I moved from London to Norfolk, and I remember reading back when I was in London, so that I must have been younger than 7 because I moved here when I was 7. I remember reading Harry Potter when I was in Norfolk as well, and I remember reading one of the later books. I think I must have been 5 or 6 when I started reading independently. I was possibly younger. I've always enjoyed reading when I was young, always kind of had a book in the evenings, loved reading. As I said, the Harry Potter series is one of the books I always remember literally physically sitting up, being able to smell the book, it being a big, thick tome of a book. I remember Goblet of Fire we had in hardback and was a big, heavy thing. Absolutely loved that. So remember reading probably from, about, I don't know, 5 or 6 years old. Not sure if I read younger. I'm not sure if my parents read to me when I was younger. You kind of forget that much younger than that, don't you? Where do I read is the next question. So question 9 is, where do I read? Where do I read? I read via my ears, so that's where my reading happens. I do a lot of my reading via audiobooks. I do read at night. My partner, when she's watching a show in bed, I'll often stick my earphones on, get a book out and read then. I sometimes try and read on my sofa, same situation. She'll be watching something that I'm not that interested in. I'll stick my headphones in and read then. Anytime the sun's out during the summer, I'll get a book out and I'll read out over the weekends as well, or in the evenings even. But it's generally, anywhere I can kind of get a book listened to as well. So I listen in the car, when I'm doing chores around the house, when I'm doing anything like that is generally when I try and read. I would go for walks on lunch breaks. I get my audiobook in then as well. I did used to read the Kindle app on my phone whilst going for my walks, but ended up with a massive headache. I get like a tension headache from like walking like this the whole bloody way. So ended up stopped doing that because that was not good for my brain. So yeah, that's probably where I do most of my reading. Pretty much anywhere where I can get a book. Most of my physical reading, probably in bed. And then question 10 is kind of like question 4. Oh, question 4 I misread. Question 4 was why do you love reading? Whereas I read it as what do you love reading? So this question 10 is what kind of books you love reading. So I'm going to say why do I love reading instead. So question 10 is why do I love reading? And this is the final question, I think. So question 10, what is that? Why do I love reading? Keep saying it, Luke. I love reading because it takes me away. I love reading because it opens up my mind. It opens up the idea of other things happening. Yes, what I read is a lot of fiction. So a lot of what's happening is never happened, never going to happen, couldn't possibly happen. Dragons and crazy stories and things like this. But also sometimes you read things and you think that's definitely something that could happen. I read a Lisa Jewell book, none of this is true, this year, that basically I thought, yeah, that could 100% be a documentary on Netflix that could have happened, and you'd be like, oh my god, that's unbelievable. Some of these things that pop up on Netflix, these documentaries, you think, how did that happen? And they're like, yeah, that probably could happen now when you read books like this. I love taking myself away, and I think an audiobook's also one of the best ways to do that. So when I'm at work, obviously you have like a 9 till 5, I'm in the office, I then have a half an hour break where I go for a walk outside. I go outside every single time. I really cannot do an inside walk, so raincoat on if I need it, or an umbrella on if I need it, and I stick my headphones in, and it just takes me away to a completely different world. And it's the best way to kind of remove myself from work, from thinking of anything else, and generally it's just a great way to kind of escape from the dullity, that's not a word, the dullness of real life sometimes. I also just love reading about really cool things. It's just a bit of the nerd inside me. I love reading about fictional places, fictional people. And also there's that feeling you get sometimes from reading when you read something about one character who lived over 70 years and what a journey they've been on, where you think, wow, that's what life should be about. That's what something I want to aspire to do more, is kind of broaden my horizons, and I don't know, hope that I get to 70, 80 years old and I've done as much as I have. It doesn't change me. I don't like go and book some holiday to some crazy place and go and explore something, but I love listening to it, I love reading it, I love experiencing it. So that's one of the things that I love about reading. I think that's all the 10 questions really that I can answer today. There is another one, I think there was an 11th one, but I don't think it was, what does your book collection look like? So I'm going to do another video on what my kind of book collection looks like. I need to sort out my bookshelves before I do that, because as you can see here at the moment, this is my TBR shelf, and I know it's a bit blurred, but I have like one book on show. This is a book that I just did a video about this morning. It's just an utter mess. So I need to kind of sort that out. I need to sort this out because this needs a dusting, and it's got random, like it's got like an Airwick diffuser thing on it, all sorts of random stuff, but I'll do another video on that another time. But anyway, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed these questions. Let me know. I'll put the 10 questions down below as well so you can answer them, and then you can go ahead and let me know what your responses to them are. Let me know if anything I said in this video was interesting, if I suggested any books that you thought, yes, I'm going to be reading that because you said that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Something a bit different here, where it wasn't all me standing in front of something talking about books. It was me answering questions about myself, because there is a human being back here who's actually doing the answering as well. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, give it a like, subscribe, because subscribing is the absolute best thing you can do in the whole entire world. Watch this 100,000 times, because don't know if you know, but watch hours is a big thing on YouTube apparently. So if you could watch this repetitively, that's why YouTube videos are so long these days, because watch hours is the big thing. But anyway, thank you for watching, and goodbye.